You're listening to Demon World with Jasmine Ass on Demon FM.
We are live, local and loud here on Demon FM. We're entered that bit of the show when we showcase some of the great established and upcoming talent in this great city of ours, known as Leicester and Leicestershire. Our first artists have arrived in the studio, and it's a couple of members of a band called Final Coil. Here's a track from them called Spider Feet.
Demon FM.
A nice quiet mellow tune there just to get proceedings going. Not really. That's Final Coil, Spider Feet, and they've joined us in the studio for live, local and loud. We've got Phil and Jola from Final Coil. Hi guys.
Hello, hi.
Hi, welcome to Demon FM. First of all, tell us about the band. How did you guys get that name, Final Coil?
Well, the name comes from my sort of interest in English literature, because we first formed when I was here in Leicester at university. And we were sort of trying to think about what we wanted to explore thematically, and we were looking at the same time sort of reading quite a lot of Shakespeare, and you've got that line from Hamlet, shuffling off this mortal coil. But of course there's already a band called This Mortal Coil, and I don't think they would have been very happy if we'd pinched their name. And there was also that kind of influence from Dante, the sort of the 7 levels, the vestibule coiling down into the depths, and it just came together as Final Coil, which stuck somehow. I think originally I have a feeling that we actually started off as The Final Coil, and then found that we kept disappearing into the T section, all those bands with The in front of it, so it just got simplified over time.
I do have to say, I do quite like that name, because I've seen you around a lot, and it really sticks in your mind, I think, the words Final Coil. So it's quite memorable and easy to
does
find
go
on
around
Facebook.
a bit in your head, really, doesn't it, Kevin? Final Coil.
Yes,
dangerous.
that is a 10 joke. Nice one.
So who are the band members, and what roles do they play in the band?
Well, I'm the rhythm guitarist and lead singer, and then we've got Richard Audrey, who is the lead guitarist, and he also does a lot of vocals, both backing and lead. Our drummer, Barry French, who joined the band relatively recently, and last but by no means least is Yola Styles, who's our bassist.
Hi.
And have you guys are you local, and have you been around a while?
We've been around for a good while. Yoda and I have lived in Leicester since 2008, and I was here in Leicester at university back in 2000 and involved in a different band back then. Richard's lived in Leicester, or sort of around Leicester, for a long, long time. And Barry, I think, has been in Leicester for a good few years as well. So, yeah, we're a local band, and certainly since 2008 we've been playing on the local scene.
Yola, what do you like most about the Leicester music scene as a performer?
I like that community, actually. I like people gathering together in local venues and supporting each other. I think that's very important. We have opportunity in here to play in many very good venues with very, very good sound, and I think that's very important for smaller bands, that people who are around actually coming and seeing us and talking with us and sharing our passions, actually. And we have few fans in here in Leicester, but of course our project is bigger, and we're aiming for more obviously. That's why we agreed to work with our record label, Wormhole Death, which is Italian record label.
Fantastic. And how would you describe your style of music? What's the genre?
It's a nightmarish question. I've seen reviews that have referred to us as grunge, metal, prog, stoner. I think we've been tarred with just about every genre brush at some point, and I'm not sure that it's an easy one to track down, but we certainly take a lot of influences from the kind of alternative rock scene of the sort of mid to late 1990s, bands like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, and we take quite a lot of inspiration from the sort of the progressive rock scene of the 1970s, certainly in the idea that we like to try and create something that maybe is a little bit atypical, perhaps goes beyond what's expected of the sort of standard verse structure. So you could probably put it into that kind of alternative prog bracket, but it's a really tough one to pin down. So I guess it's whatever people choose to make of us.
We've got another track of yours lined up next. Can you introduce a track and tell us kind of how that song came about? Is it like a life experience? Is it something you saw, or is it just something random?
Which one is it? You Waste My Time?
We're going to have Silent Reproach.
In Silent Reproach is... It's the whole album is thematically linked about a lack of communication within people, within society, and certainly there's a lot of people who sort of communicate in a very passive-aggressive sort of way, rather than say what's on their minds and maybe draw that poison and interact more healthily as a result. They tend to kind of look at you in that way that you've done something horribly wrong, but it's never kind of articulated. So in Silent Reproach is that kind of feeling that there's something that should be said, and it's poisoning the atmosphere, but it never gets drawn out. It's quite a claustrophobic song.
We're going to just flip things over. We'll have You Waste My Time first. A little bit of presenter finger trouble here. So this is You Waste My Time, and we'll have Silent Reproach shortly. That's Final Coil on Demon FM, and not quite the track that we'd introed. That's called You Waste My Time, and we will get Spider Feet on next. And we've got Phil and Jola from Final Coil here in the studio. Tell us about your dynamic stage show. I'm rather intrigued about that.
Well, we put a lot of attention, in our show on stage. We obviously were big fans, of recording and working in studio on our record, and we like the difference actually between listening record in your house, and we want to give a little bit different experience to our fans, when they go and see us live. So our shows are quite crazy, I would say, sometimes, and there are things happening there, unexpected, and of course we have cables everywhere, and there is a lot of dynamic, definitely.
Well, we grew up watching bands like Nirvana and Mudhoney and Sonic Youth, and you look at those bands and their recordings are amazing, but then on stage they're an entirely different entity. And for me, I think, if you go and see a band and they're playing exactly what they play on record and they're very static, it's slightly disappointing. And what we want to do is to really bring the audience into the heart of the show, and we certainly admired the bands that just gave absolutely everything to the performance. I mean, it does mean that you get kind of distortion pedals kicked across the stage, and guitars have been known to take the odd tumble, but I think it's part of delivering a performance, and if you want your audience to come back, then they need that energy and that dynamic, and I think the audience and the band feed off one another, so it's really important to us to deliver that sort of show and that sort of energy.
And as an audience member, because I saw you about a week ago, didn't I must have said that does seem to come across, because obviously there's a lot of people moshing in the audience, as you yourselves were obviously having a good time, so that really does enhance the enjoyment from my point of view. But I've noticed since probably, you say you've been around about 10 years, I think Music in Leicester's probably been covering you for about that long, hasn't it, I think?
Music in Leicester's been hugely supportive. I think, it was Trev caught us on. I think it might actually have been our very first show, which we weren't even supposed to be playing. We got a phone call. We were rehearsing in Staveley, and someone said there's a slot. And our drummer at that time sort of said, look, guys, if we don't go for it now, we're never going to. So we just got out of the rehearsal studio, packed up all our stuff, dived onto stage and delivered this very kind of energetic and probably musically flawed set. So Music in Leicester sort of caught us then, and they as an entity, it supported us amazingly ever since, and we're incredibly grateful for that.
Music in Leicester, of course, is a local music website that is very passionate about local music, and Kevin is represented on that website as well. You guys are very passionate about your CD covers. What's that all about?
Well, we are. We do like artwork and proper design, which will reflect the music which people can listen on our record. So from the beginning, it was very important part of packaging and production to make all of artwork right. And at the beginning, a few years ago, it was me who actually was doing all of designs, and we are going and compromising with our band, and we're discussing what we need and how we want to present everything. So all of leaflets and CD covers from our EPs, they would be done by me. But after that, our last record, we found actually artists whose work I admire from the beginning actually, and we were really, really happy that he agreed to do artwork for us for our last record.
Yeah, that's Andy Pilkington of Very Metal Art. He's a fantastic artist, and the best thing about him is that when we approached him to do it, he didn't say, what do you want it to look like? He said, tell me about the lyrics, tell me about the music, and give us a copy of the demos. And he created the artwork that you see on the record from that. So it's all him, it's all his inspiration and his imagination, but it's entirely fueled by the music, which I think is the best creative kind of process that you can have. And we were amazed at what he came up with for that record, and we were very, very glad when he also kindly agreed to join us on the second record that we're making at the moment. So it's hugely important to us to have this artwork, because I think it brings the package alive. And if you look at bands like Pink Floyd, and if you look at bands like even Nirvana and Soundgarden, they always made an effort to have these covers that were linked to the music, and it gave you something that you really wanted to hold and to look at and to read. And I think that's so important as a part of music as an art form and not just a disposable commodity.
Yeah, Phil, I mean, Kevin just unfurled your CD cover, and I've got to say, it does look very visually impactful.
And it looks like one of those things that the longer you look at it, the more you can pull out of it, the more you see as well. Like I remember Iron Maiden album covers used to be a similar thing, because there's a lot of detail and bits and bobs going on there. So I'll enjoy looking at that, studying it closely when I listen to the album.
So those Iron Maiden covers are just amazing. When I grew up, one of the first bands I ever listened to was Iron Maiden.
Yeah, me too.
You get hold of those 7-inch singles, blood red vinyl, and Number of the Beast. I mean, what 10-year-old is not going to pick that up and think this is the best thing I've ever seen?
Yeah, so if you're tempted by the Final Call music, then the CD cover does give you some extra enjoyment. Tell us about your Italy trip. You kind of dangled that in front of us when you came in, and that's stuff you got going on right now. So what's happening over in Italy?
Well, we've just been out to Italy to a studio called Real Sound Studios, which is in Langherano, in the hills of Parma, and we've gone out to record a brand new album. It's the same studio where we travelled last time to record Persistence and Memory. But this time we did it a little bit differently because air travel, particularly with instruments, is becoming a nightmare. So myself and Richard, we packed up the car with drums and guitars and everything that you need.
Effect symbols.
Effects units and a tent. And we drove the 1,600 kilometres from Leicester to Langherano, stopping off in the Alps along the way and camping by a river, and driving down into Langherano. And basically it's the sort of experience that I think as any artist would truly dream of doing. You know, the opportunity to go to a professional studio is absolutely amazing. The opportunity to travel to another country and go into a professional studio and have that experience is one of the most amazing things you can do. And I think in both records, the atmosphere of the studio and the atmosphere of the journey really played into the music, because the first record, Persistence and Memory, is kind of dreamlike and ethereal. And if you can imagine being up in the mountains where the visibility is rarely more than about 20 or 30 feet because there's so much mist and fog around, you can kind of imagine this kind of eerie atmosphere that we were recording in, and it was stunning, and I think it fed into the music. This time round, it was the same place, but it was sunny, it was hot, it was beautiful, and the town was alive. It was teeming with people for a Parma festival where they were celebrating the ham and the cheese that's produced in the region, and it was just amazing. And I think it's led to a record, and unfortunately I can't give the title yet, but we've got the second record, and I think it's more dynamic and almost more energetic because we were in this environment.
Fantastic. Finally, guys, sorry, we are running out of time, and we'd love to talk to you a lot longer, and I hope you're going to come back to us, particularly when you've got your new album out there, and give us an exclusive, a preview, who knows. Festivals. Do you guys major on festivals, and why do you do festivals?
Festivals are a very good opportunity for a band like ours to being viewed by wider public, actually. And in these days we have, of course, communication over internet, and we can promote our band online, but to reach audience, it's obviously very, very hard. The competition is there huge, and on festivals we're trying to get to the festivals which we will match with our music. Although it's very diverse, I think we're playing in Hard Rock Hell, we're playing in Progfest, and I hope people who will go and attend those festivals, they will find something interesting in our music.
Yeah, there's two amazing festivals. It's Hard Rock Hell Metal in Birmingham, that's in February, and then it's a relatively new festival. It started this year, but in 2019 it's going to be a 3-day. It's at the Stourport Civic Centre, just outside Swindon, and it's called Fusion Festival, Music Without Boundaries, which I love because it is progressive, but it's also more than that. And there's a whole range of bands. There's IO Earth, England, doing their first performance. I think it's in about 40 years. They're coming back together. There's Det Burke, Hats Off Gentlemen, It's Adequate, all sorts of bands that we love, Spiral Key and Final Coil. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing the whole of the record we've just finished. We're going to be playing that in its entirety at that show. It's going to be a really special show for us. I think it's only going to be one or two occasions when we're going to do something that big, but it's such a great festival with such a great lineup and such a passionate organizer, a guy called Stephen Gold, that we want to make that effort, and we can't wait. That's
brilliant. Well, just finally, guys, where can listeners get more information about you, your music and your work?
The most obvious place is our website, which is www.finalcoil.com. Facebook, it's facebook.com/finalcoil, and the same for Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on Spotify. You can buy our album from Amazon, Bandcamp, all sorts of iTunes. So pretty much anywhere that you can look, you can find Final Coil, where you can't escape from us.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, guys. You're clearly passionate about your music and much more around the music as well. Thanks for coming in, and best luck for the future. And of course, do come back and see us again in the future, and maybe bring some instruments next time and create a bit of noise in the studio.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank
Fantastic.
You very much.
We're going to have another track from Final Coil. This is the one we meant to play earlier, and it's called Spider Feet.
We're all in it now. Up their nose, and even though after all this time I wonder why they're still friends of mine. I needed time to get things right. Have you ever wondered why I never sleep at night? I don't, I won't, so comatose. I need a minute cause I'm gonna shove my butt in it. Lately I've been acting crazy, hoping you might save me from my mind. Lately everything's so hazy, really need a frenzy, but they ain't got the time. I needed help, but they opposed. Have you ever wondered why I never kept them close? And even though I confided in you, it's plain to see you haven't got a clue. I needed pills to take at night. Have you never ever wondered why my thoughts ain't right? They're not alright, cannot see. I need a second cause my heart is gonna burn. I said lately I've been acting crazy, hoping you might save me from my mind. Lately everything's so hazy, really need a frenzy, but they ain't got the time. Save me from my mind. Lately everything's so hazy, really need a frenzy, but they ain't got the time. I needed help, someone to diagnose. All my friends, it's the cup that I knows. I needed help, save me from day of close. Have you ever wondered why I never get that close? I needed help, someone to diagnose. All my friends, it's the cup that I knows. I needed help, but they are close. Have you ever wondered why I never get that close? I needed help, someone to diagnose. All my friends, it's the cup that I knows. I needed help, but they are close. Have you ever wondered why I never get that close?
That's local band Herb Burden here on Demon FM, and lately you're listening to Live, Local and Loud with Jazz Minhas, that's myself, and Kevin Gaughan on your local station, Demon FM. And we've got our next guest. He's just about ready to come on live on air, and he's actually going to perform for us live, so really looking forward to that. And that is a young man called Harrison Gent.
It's impossible to see beyond a hyper-normalization of confusion and
like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Stick, I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the jeweler, I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving it's wrong, I do what they say I can't. They call me Cardi, Brody, banging body, spicy mommy, hot tamale, hotter than a Somali. Virgo, Ferrari, hop up the stoop, jump in the coupe, big dip on top of the roof, flexing on bitches as hard as I can, eating halal, driving a lamb. So that bitch, I'm sorry though, got my coins like Mario. Yeah, they call me Cardi B, I run this shit like cardio. I'm in district in the chain. Certified, you know I'm gang, 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 gang. Drop the top and blow the brand. Oh, he's so handsome, what's his name? I need the dollars to change, beat it up like piñata. Tell the job to close the curtains. That shit make you nervous.
Live, local and loud, that's how we like it here on Demon FM. And my next special guest has arrived in the studio and he is Harrison Gent, and he is going to play us in with a song called Do I Wanna Know. Take it away, Harrison.
Have you got colour in your cheeks? Ever get that feel that you can shift the tide that sticks around like summits in your teeth? Are there some aces up your sleeve? Have you no idea that you're in deep? I dreamt about you nearly every night this week. How many secrets can you keep? 'Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat until I fall asleep, spilling drinks on my settee. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Was sorta hoping that you'd stay. Baby, we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you. Ever thought of calling when you've had a few? 'Cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you. So have you got the goods? Been wondering if your heart's still open, and if so, I wanna know what time it should. Simmer down and pucker up. I'm sorry to interrupt, it's just I'm constantly on the cusp. I've tried and to kiss you. I don't know if you feel the same as I do. We could be together if you wanted to. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Was sorta hoping that you'd stay. Baby, we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to you. Ever thought of calling when you've had a few? 'Cause I always do. Maybe I'm too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through. Do I wanna know busy being yours to fall. Sad to see you go. Wanna baby crawling back? Do I wanna know? Too busy being yours to fall for somebody new. Now I thought it through, crawling back to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Harrison. Our second special guest on the show today, Harrison Gent. And Harrison, is it true that you're really 12 years old?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think you've got to be hold the record for being the youngest musician to come on the show, and I've got to say you're pretty good. So thanks for that. So that was your version of Arctic Monkeys' "Do I Want to Know." Harrison, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your music. You know, how did you get into music at such a young age?
Well, my dad, ever since I was growing up, like 2, 3, I've always been watching my dad play gigs, and it was always really intriguing just to watch him play. And then I thought one day when I was 7, almost 8, I just thought, I want to play. And then I told Dad I want to play, and he said, if you do, then you'd be playing guitar, like you'd be picking one up and trying to have a go. And then he showed me this little riff by Jake Bugg, and I started playing it, and then I was away. Ever since then I've been playing. It was 5 years last month.
Wow. So what sort of music, you know, kind of do you listen to that helps to shape your own music?
It's indie, really. It's like the Smiths, Stereophonics, Arctic Monkeys, that sort of stuff that I like. I'm into a lot of sort of not rocky stuff, but just jingly jangly guitars like Jake Bugg and stuff like that.
And that kind of all feeds into your own music, yeah?
Yeah.
When you you know, you're local, so you're from the Leicester area.
Yeah.
You know, do you go to school? Can you tell us a bit about that side of things? Do you learn music at school?
I don't really do music at school. Like, I don't have guitar lessons at school or anything. Like, I enjoy music at school, but I have guitar lessons at home, and I love it, really. I play a lot. I try to play every day if I don't have any homework and stuff. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And at school, I like to just, sometimes I go in the practice rooms at lunchtime where you can just go and have a little noodle, but I don't sometimes because I'm with my mates. But yeah.
What do you like most about doing music, and what do you like least about doing music?
What I like most is probably, well, I don't know. I like it all. I really live, don't you? I like doing it live, yeah, but I also like the recording side of it. I like writing. I like learning new songs, and there's not really a thing that I like least about it.
That's fine and very honest of you, so thank you for that. You write your own music. You're going to play us a song called On Your Bike. Can you kind of tell us what that song is about, why you wrote it, and then play it for us?
It's just observational, really. It's about difficult times at school that, like, if some people might not understand about, like, somebody having problems. That's really what it's about.
Okay, well, let's hear you play it, Harrison. Looking forward to that. This is Harrison Gent and On Your Bike.
Looking forward, not back. Trying to see where this is taking me. I don't want to move on. I just want to see. that's a shame. You don't know where I've been, you don't know what I've seen. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. You don't know what it takes, harder than them the brakes. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. On your bike. Looking forward, not back, and it don't look easy. Not least, but I'm last, and that don't please me. Always trying to keep up with the rest. I'm up for the test. You don't know where I've been, you don't know what I've seen. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. You don't know what it takes, harder than them the brakes. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. You don't know where I've been, you don't know what I've seen. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. You don't know what it takes, harder than them the brakes. You can judge if you like, if you do on your bike. On your bike. On your bike. On your bike.
Fantastic. That's Harrison Gent and On Your Bike.
Wow, that was amazing, Harrison.
Thank you.
You're not a stranger to performing live, are you, as well? I believe.
I like doing live gigs. Yeah, I do. I go down to the open mic night at the Sound House.
Oh yeah.
I've been down quite recently, but I've had a time where I didn't go for about 2 months. But I really enjoy it. And Rhett, who runs it, has been really supportive of me and everybody down there. It's a really nice crowd.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he? So, okay, have you done any other gigs or just?
Yeah, I've
open
done.
mic?
I've done a load. I can't think because some of them were when I was younger. So I did.
Even younger. My word.
Well, my first gig was weren't really a gig. It was just my dad was playing guitar when I was about 5, 6, and at a church thing, and I was singing with him. That was my first gig. But
first YouTube clip, isn't it?
Yeah.
YouTube.
But
Harrison, you got a gig coming up next week. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's for charity. So me and my dad are going to do about 5 songs.
It's called the Happy Day Cabaret in Birstall, and it's to raise money for the White Horse Wishing Well Together Against Cancer.
Fantastic, Dad. Whereabouts in Bristol is that?
Just reading my notes that I've been handed by the missus. The Palmer Tompkinson Centre, One Lip Lane, Birstall.
So, and what night is that?
That is next Saturday, the 10th.
Fantastic. A great, worthwhile cause for charity. So
Indeed.
do pop along and support that if you can. And Harrison, what's the biggest thing that's happened to you so far? Given that you're relatively young, has there been like a standout moment so far?
There's been probably 2 main moments. When I was about 7, 8, so I was only just started to play guitar. I sang on Cav from the Happy Mondays. He was a guitarist for the Happy Mondays album. Solo album. I sang on his solo album, and it was a song called Medicated. It was a good experience, and I really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. That must have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had Cav in the studio, didn't we, Kevin?
Yes, because he was guesting with Robson. Yes, that's it. Brilliant. And I believe you've got a festival appearance or 2 coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, Glastonbury 2019.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm playing with my dad's old band Copious. We did at his wedding, and then there was a guy called Sean who's the singer, and he came down to the Sound House one night when I was playing, and Dad was playing as well, I think. And then we just did a sort of acoustic version of it because there was a free slot, so we just thought, why not do a sort of acoustic version of Copious? And then the guy approached me before and said, do you want to play on Glastonbury? And I was well chuffed with that. And then I was playing on 2 stages, and then we did a set together, Copious acoustic, and then he asked Copious to play on it as well. So
Fantastic. Harrison, where can listeners get more information about you, your music? Can they download your music?
I have a Facebook page. You can't really download it because I haven't done much recording, but I have a Facebook page where I post covers on, and I sometimes post my own stuff if I'm writing and stuff. We do the odd live video sometimes, and then we post some gig videos and that.
Fantastic, Harrison.
It's Harrison Gent Music with a G, not a J.
Fantastic. And so big thanks to Harrison and Dad for coming in. Dad was there just chipping in with a few bits of information as well. So thank you both. Harrison, you're going to play us out with a Smiths track called What Difference Does It Make?
Yeah.
Best luck for the future. And, do keep in touch with us as you rise to stardom, etc., which I'm sure, you've got every potential to do if you stick with it. So thanks for coming in. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And thanks, Dad, as well.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So play us out, Harrison, with the Smiths and What Difference Does It Make? Thank you.
Secrets and here is mine, so let it be known. For we have been through hell and high tide. I think I can rely on you. And yet you start to record heavy words are so lightly thrown, but still I'd leap in front of a flying bullet for you. So what difference does it make? Oh, what difference does it make? Oh, it makes none. But now you have gone, and you must be looking very old tonight. Oh, the devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and I lied, and why? Because you asked me to. And now you know the truth about me. You won't see me anymore. Well, I'm still fond of you. Oh, so what difference does it make? Oh, what difference does it make? Oh, it makes none. But now you have gone, and your prejudice won't keep you warm tonight. Oh, the devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and I lied. Why? Because you asked me to. And now you make me feel so ashamed because I've only got two hands. Well, I'm still fond of you. Whoa. But no more apologies. No more, no more apologies. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so sick and tired, and I'm feeling very sick and ill today. Well, I'm still fond of you. Oh, oh, my sacred one.
Fantastic. That's Harrison Gent on Demon FM. Thank you, Harrison.
Thank you.
Leicester's
Demon FM.
blue in the face of you. I close my eyes as it drags me down. I'm seeing something new as I'm coming to. I try to leave my ghosts behind. They are in my room every night. I promise I will make it right. Make it right. Make it right. I'm losing my power to break down these walls. Myself, I do. I lose it all for you. Running from the dark that follows. It's nothing new. I'm howling at the moon. I try to leave my ghosts behind. They are in my room every night. I promise I will make it right. Make it right. Make it right. I'm losing my power to break down these walls. And we fall, find it hard to forget back to back as before, taking farther and farther from that what you thought. Been shaking my demons and freeing my soul. Been shaking and needing to leave from it all. Pushing boundaries that's breaking down wall after wall. I'm losing my power to break down these walls. Losing it all, got me feeling the way like I never before. Try to leave my ghosts behind. They are in my room every night. I promise I will make it right.
We are live, local and loud here on Demon FM. We're always live and local, but we're a bit loud on us for a Saturday morning because it's our regular music spot where myself, Minhas, and Kevin Gaughan from Music in Leicester kindly pops in and marshals the artists and gets them all to sort of behave themselves and come and tell us about all the great work they're doing at the moment. And our final artist today, last but by no means least, we have Tom Marlow. Hello, Tom. Welcome to Demon FM.
Tom. Hello, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks. And thanks for coming in. I know Saturday morning can be a bit of a stretch for some people, especially people of the music variety. They tend to be doing all sorts of gigs late into the night.
Well, yeah.
Tom, kind of get us in the zone. Tell us about what you do.
I'm a music producer from Leicester, and yeah, I've been releasing music since February this year. And so far I've got 4 songs out.
Okay, so we just heard a track called Ghosts, and that was your own creation, was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I worked with an artist, Matt Henshaw, and Regimental. Yeah, it was good
Can you
fun.
tell us a bit
recording
about
it.
the song Ghosts?
Yeah, well, yeah. The meaning behind the lyrics is, trying to move on from things in your past that you want to move on, but it's difficult to, moving on for your past can be hard, and the song's just about trying to move on and the struggle, but
So
you'll
Tom,
get there in the end.
Tom, how does a song come into your head? Do you sound like, is it, you're just suddenly walking along and it just happens, or do you sort of see something, or can it be sort of any sort of scenario?
Yeah, I mean, quite annoyingly, most of the time the songs come to me just as I'm about to fall asleep. So I'll have like a notebook next to my bed and I'll just jot down my ideas, and then in the morning I'll go down and just into my home studio and just
Right. So
bash
you
it
don't
out.
suddenly start singing them out loud, so your neighbours get the exclusive on those then.
Yeah, I've got like hundreds of voice recordings on my phone of
Fantastic.
just lyric ideas. And
So have you got sort of like have you studied music, or did you just learn it yourself, or did
Yeah,
it
well-
come to you quite late on? I mean,
yeah, I started playing the trombone actually when I was about 10,
okay.
and I played in a brass band and we did some concerts and stuff. And then when I was 13, I decided to start playing the electric guitar, and I borrowed my granddad's guitar, and he's never had it back.
So when are you going to start blowing your own trumpet then? You know, in terms of getting out there and performing some live stuff, have you got that sort of in your sort of a future plan?
Yeah, I'm thinking about playing live. I've just got to think about how I'm going to make the songs translate into a live situation.
Right. So how do you put your stuff together at the minute? Is it all in a studio? Is it all sort of computer? Sort of not generated, but is it all done on a computer?
Yeah, I use music software, but I try and everything in the track is actually created by like analog instruments. So the synth sounds are actually from a real instrument played in live.
Right.
So I try and do everything live rather than programmed.
And did you work on your own? And is that if you do, what's the upside and the downside of working on your own?
Yes, I quite like working on my own. Like I've been in bands before, and you write a song and then you take it to practice, and then it becomes a completely different song. But working by yourself, you can spend months on it and tweak little things and change it to how you want it to be.
So how do you get feedback? Because obviously with a band you probably get instant feedback, and not but when you're on your own, do you kind of have like a focus group or whatever they call it? How does that work?
Yeah, normally I just play it to my girlfriend.
That's pretty focused
and unbiased.
Yeah, and if she likes it, then I think I'm onto a good one here.
I suppose that's one of the problems though you've got playing live. Obviously, when in the studio, you can surround yourself by lots of virtual instruments, and then playing live. What are you going to do there? Get a band or something, or?
Yeah, I think either get a band or I'll come up with something a bit different. Like a hybrid of like a DJ set with live instruments and sort of go around.
Sounds
playing a bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's my
You've got a lot of ideas in your head there, and it's always good when people kind of sort of stretch their imagination and try and do different things. So that it'd be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of these other artists that you work with. You got Matt. Any others, and what kind of work have you done with them?
I'm working with a local Leicester band at the minute. Can't mention their name yet, but yeah, I've been recording and producing one of their new tracks, and that's becoming it's in the final stages now. Nice. And that'll be coming out relatively soon.
So when you do get to performing live, is Tom Marlow, is that going to be your kind of stage name, or is that work in progress?
Yeah, I think I'll probably stick with the Tom Marlow. Tom Marlow with Matt Henshaw.
Cool, okay.
Regimental.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So just finally, Tom, where can people, get a bit more about what you're up to at the moment? Is there any download stuff available, or is it kind of all work in progress?
Yeah, my 4 tracks are available on all streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and I have social media channels everywhere. So it's very easy to listen to my music, and I've got a website, tommarlow.com.
Fantastic.
Where you can find links to
Tom,
everywhere.
it's been a real pleasure having you on this show. It's been quite a short chat, but I think that we kind of sort of position it so that you'll come back to us as things sort of develop and share more music and tell us how your journey's going. We're going to play it out with your second track you supplied us, which is Shaken. Can you kind of tell us a bit about that and introduce the song? And obviously, thanks for coming in today, and do keep in touch with us.
Yeah, thank you. Shaken was written in the summer, so it's got a lot of summer. It's a very summery vibe song.
Cool.
So it's quite energetic and
So this is Tom Marlow and Shaken.
With heavy hearts comes a lifetime of hurt and pain. Fear of moving on, the time just slips away. I'm shaking inside, but my heart feels so right. I've taken a ride, now I know what it feels like. I'm shaking inside, but my heart feels so right. I'm shaking inside. shaking inside. I'm shaking inside, but my heart feels so right. I'm shaking inside. I don't know what to feel. I'm shaking inside, but my heart feels so right. I'm shaking inside.
Well, that's about it for Live Local and I. We've been to many places on today's show, but without leaving the studio. And we've had some great guests on. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Kevin Gaughan for ably assisting us on the show today.
Jazz Minhas. This is a Demon FM.